Hey guys, it's Eric Crownover from Nerdy Geek Talks for all your
Hey.
nerdy geeky needs. What?
Oh, you said hey. I'm just responding as such.
Okay. Here with episode 27 of Holocron Herald. That's right, it's back. And you know who else is back? Luke, who just interrupted my perfect intro that is no longer
It was
perfect.
my intro. It's my intro. God.
I figured I would do it since you
Your
never
new intro.
you never remember the intro even when we've been doing it for weeks, so I figured after
Yes,
not
I
doing
do.
it after
Yes, I
not doing
do.
it for months, I figured I would do it at least once
I
before
was
you get back on
waiting.
track.
I was waiting for this, and
All
you
right.
just took it away from me. I hate you.
You can prove yourself next time.
I hate them.
Next episode, you will get to do
I
the
went
intro.
through all this work,
And if
to
you
bring
mess
John
up a
back.
single word,
I
it
went.
will be.
I went through all of this work to bring John back to life after I killed him.
Oh yeah, John. Apparently he killed you. Speaking of which, hi John. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Glad to be back, aren't you?
Yes.
We're
I
glad
am
to have
I
you
know that
back.
worm is in him right now.
What?
Doesn't even know that Geonosian worm is in him right now. I went through all this work.
that's how-
All
Feel
this
it.
work.
No, that's not that
Feel
arc
it.
yet. We still have 2 episodes before we get to that. 2 episodes of this show, not 2
Oh.
episodes of. I mean, actually, well, we only have the 2 Zillow Beast episodes next, and then we will be on that arc. So technically, there's
then
2
John, I'm gonna
episodes
need that
before that
back.
arc. But yeah. So today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 17, Bounty Hunters, and Season 2, Episode 4, Senate Spy. Both of which are interesting episodes. So first off, just to announce, we did break technically, slightly, the canon order because we're going in order of chronological of how they happened, not how the episodes aired. So
Disney does it, we can do it.
so we're doing Bounty Hunters and then Senate Spy, but really it should be Bounty Hunters, then the 2 Zillow Beast episodes, then Senate Spy. But I didn't want to do, Bounty Hunters and Senate Spy are one-off episodes, and I didn't want to do 4 episodes in one episode of this show. So we just took those 2, and we are going to do the Zillow Beast separate in the next episode, and then everything will be perfect from then on. And then we get to the Geonosis arc, which I gotta say, I actually really like the second battle of Geonosis, so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
To be fair, I like the noises the wings make when they fly.
I like a lot of the Flame Trooper designs, especially I think it's Commander. I think is Jet. Is that his name?
Of course it is.
The clone commander of the Flame Troopers has such a cool design. But anyways, we'll get to that in a couple episodes.
He's a fire type.
But first off, we have Bounty Hunters. What is the quote for this episode, John?
The
Friendship.
quote for this episode. Well, before I even get to that, I would like to point out in the beginning of the episode, at least where I watched it, it did a in memory of Akira Kurosawa
Huh.
Yeah.
before the quote.
Did you Google who that is?
I did Google who that is.
I actually
It's
did
a
He's
not
a
job
know
Japanese
that.
film director. He directed 30 films, and he's considered the most important and influential filmmaker in the history of cinema.
Wow.
Wow. I'm
According to Google, that is.
Do you
Yeah, I
think that
don't
he
know.
died around the time this episode was either
I mean, I'm assuming
aired
that's
or
like
It would be strongly
I would
implied.
assume that they wouldn't do it while he was still alive. So I'm guessing.
No, but I'm like saying, do you think it was when the episode was written and they like wrote the episode in honor of him, or do you think it was like right before they aired it and they were like, oh, that's super easy to add in. It's literally like a slide, so like that you could add in 30 seconds. So
Um,
It was just
I'm
a prank.
not
He
sure.
did it. He was still alive.
he-
He put it in.
this
He
is last
died
act.
September 6, 1998. So no,
Oh,
it did
no.
not. He did not die.
He is
So
that
he did not.
good of a.
So he did not die around the time of this episode. So that's
He's
interesting.
he's that good of a cinematographer. That's why he's the best in the world. He's still putting stuff in movies now, even after
not a
he's
movie.
been dead for 20
Wait,
years.
so what's
he's
his name
still
again?
doing it.
What's his name again?
Akira Kurosawa.
Do any of you know what the sniper bounty hunter's name is? I don't. That's the only one whose name I don't know. So I'm just curious if like maybe a
Oh.
character was named after him or something.
I forget what I was
No.
calling him, but it was funny, so I'll remember.
The sniper's a girl, not a him.
Oh, yeah, they show up for like 20 seconds, so I didn't care. I'm at
The sniper's the only one that dies, even though Embo takes more of a direct hit than she does from
Yeah.
the tank, and Embo's
I
fine,
was
but
I was more focused on Alien Raiden myself.
Embo's literally the coolest. But anyways, so what's the quote then, John?
The quote is "Courage makes heroes, but trust builds friendships."
Yay!
Courage makes
Just
heroes.
like we did.
That's interesting. I mean, that certainly relates, but I'm trying to think of... I don't know. I mean, it relates. It's not just... Trust builds friendships. But they don't really end up trusting the bounty hunters that much. They just work with them. You know what I mean?
I figured the female one was going to show up again.
Oh, the annoying one. Wait, was that annoying one a female? The annoying villager?
I don't know.
That
I thought it was a
villager
guy.
is the most... I thought it was a guy, too. That villager is the most annoying piece of crap ever. But we will get to that. But anyways, so that's a quote. First note I have.
The sniper is Rumi Paramita, by the way.
Okay, Rumi. I actually knew that. I should have known that. Rumi. Just writing that down so I have that for later. Why are they using that ship? Why are they not, like, taking the Twilight, is my question.
Because the Twilight's last gleaming.
You know, okay, no. You know what? I know the real reason why they don't take the Twilight. Because they get shot down. And they don't want to shoot down the Twilight and leave it.
Oh, that's good.
That's the
That's
real
yeah.
reason. That's the real reason they're taking this random shuttle.
What's the in-universe reason, though?
I feel like the in-universe reason is because it was under maintenance, I bet, or something. But that's definitely
some great flying. That's some great flying he was doing and flying a straight line when ships were shooting at him. That's great. That's freaking incredible. I was gonna say, shot down so easily is my next note. They've gone through so much worse, and it's like 2 Vulture droids that shoot them down. And then the Separatists are nowhere to be found throughout the rest of the entire... Yep. I don't know. It just so you know, those Vulture droids are still out there somewhere.
Those Vulture droids were literally there just to crash them on Felucia. Same reason that they're in that random
They don't even chase after them.
I know, which is really weird. Especially because Vulture droids can do that very easily. But anyways, speaking of the ship, you know what's awesome? The best part of that ship? Yeah, the escape.
The bouncy balls.
The eject system is that it's actually a really good system in all honesty. Like, I wonder if anyone has ever tried to develop a system that's not the exact same but similar, where it like forms a ball around you. Not like literally where you're inside like a completely hollow ball, but like something that would like puff out little cushions around you so you don't, splat.
Inflatable pants.
I tried to look for that. Because I thought that there was. I do know for a fact that one of the Mars landers was like, it was in the shape of like a pyramid, and it like had inflatable things to cushion its fall.
I know exactly what you're talking. Yeah, I think a lot of spaceships, like the space capsules, do that when they're coming down to Earth. I think.
Interesting, but I thought that was just kind of cool, and I was like, "That's a funny little moment."
I don't know what you're going to school for. I know what I'm building.
I tried to look for like real life parachute kind of concepts for that, but the only thing I came up with was those little balls that people rolled down the hills in.
I tried this in real life actually, like an hour ago.
What?
I took it a step further than John. No, I just got a bunch of like plastic bags together, and
did it go well?
I just jumped off my house.
We're actually talking to him while he's in the hospital with all of his broken bones right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's how well. His jaw. That's literally like the only bone he can move at the moment. So he can speak just fine, but that's literally it. He's completely immobile.
Yeah, they said I'm stupid. I'm stupid in every other regard, but my dialect is impeccable.
Also, by the way, the Rancor looks really cool, but why did they show a Rancor for just like 5 seconds?
I know. I have that in my. That never shows up again in the episode.
I know, which I didn't realize until literally just this moment, because I like wrote it down. I was like, Rancor, because it looked really cool, and I was like, that's awesome. But like, why did they model that? And like, a legitimate question: why did they bother modeling that if that's all it shows up for in that episode? I don't know. I just found that interesting. Like,
how do these farmers survive if those are there?
Yeah.
Rancors don't like their plants or them.
They do have like this electric fence that they showed later. And
yeah, I'd like to acknowledge they were growing opium. I'm just throwing it out there. They were growing opium.
No, what's the plant called?
Psyllium, right?
Yeah.
Psyllium. That I looked it up. It's like a healing herb in the
It's opium.
No, it's the magic healing herbs, or was it oils that the lemurs used on Anakin before?
I don't know.
I think it was magic healing
the
oil.
nut sap. The nut sap they used.
Oh yeah, it was sap
sap
from the tree. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
The nut sap.
Yeah, but anyways, and then I love the little banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I love Obi-Wan and Anakin in the Clone Wars.
Their chemistry together is just awesome.
Beautiful. It's
And
literally
Ahsoka's
just
chemistry between characters in this episode was just very well written.
My favorite
It's like
part
when
was just
you
when he
and
was
Eric argue.
except they're more caring.
and I'm just watching like Ahsoka just say like, girl. You don't
I
even know.
I love when Anakin asked though, like, why do you even ask my opinion? And I was like, I feel that so much. I've asked my girlfriend that so many times where she'll like ask me a question, I give my answer, and then she's like, yeah, but we're gonna do this. Like, gives me an option, and then she's like, yeah, but we're gonna do this one. Then I was like, then why did you ask? So like, I really, really felt that line. I was just like, okay, I can relate.
You just wanted to put it out there that you have a girlfriend.
I don't think that was a secret, but
all right, okay, John.
No,
we're gonna take John. We're taking that 10-second of audio of him like telling like his opinion doesn't matter. We're sending that to her on Twitter.
Wait, of me saying that her opinion matters, or me saying that she says
like,
my opinion doesn't matter?
Of you like saying like, oh, like my opinion doesn't matter when she asks. We're just gonna send that to her.
Oh no, she would totally agree with it. She would totally agree with that, but I don't think she would deny it. But anyways, they have weird houses. They're like bubble
like
houses.
it though.
No, me too.
I like the design of it.
It's just an interesting design, and I love that it's so different from anything we see, because like that's some world building right there. I'm just saying, like that's what you gotta do. It's
Why
good.
do you think they're elevated a little bit off the ground?
Because they're short.
In like in Earth, whenever you see houses like that, it's normally because it's near water or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say so either flooding, but there's nothing on Felucia that would make it seem like flooding. My guess is that literally.
Well, you have to remember they're at the bottom of a cliff where it runs down.
That's true, but again, so like it's possible for rainfall, but in terms of like just water in general, my guess is that it would also be because they're very tiny and weak. Not Rancors because they're not that tall.
Rancors pooping everywhere.
That's a valid point. But my guess is that it's because like literally there's dangerous things in the night and stuff, so you don't want to just be down there where anything can get to you. You got to be higher, so that way the Rancor can pick you up at like chest level and then just eat you. Actually, that's more like probably knee level to a Rancor, but it's less of a reach. They're like, you know what? Let's make it a little easier on the Rancors.
First, Derek's telling us he has a girlfriend. Now he's telling us how tall he is.
I didn't say I was tall. I said the knee level of a Rancor. Do you think I'm as tall as a Rancor?
Yes, I do.
The beard confuses me, okay?
I would love to be a Rancor, not gonna lie. Rancors are pretty cool.
And like, I don't know, if I like take one of your Transformers, you might just start doing like the roar. I don't know.
That's true. I would probably try to eat you like Rancors eat people, because, you know, cannibalism is my first resort when someone steals a toy.
Yep. We're learning so much about Eric right now.
This is true. We are. Also, the episode title is definitely going to relate at least to Rancor poop now. But, since we're going to get through this, I have knee high. What's knee high? That was definitely not because that was not because I know I just said.
Yes, I remember because the droid calls her like, "What are you gonna do?"
Knee high, yeah. Because
I love that.
Well, but it wasn't a droid.
Oh yeah,
it's the letdown character that's Serapis. It's supposed to be the lesson of like, oh, it's this big bad guy that actually like big cool guy that's tough and everything, but it's actually just like this little weak guy inside of a suit. But you can still be tough. But he's just such a letdown for such a cool character design.
I have a lot to rant about with this episode. Whenever we get around to the fight.
I do have a question about this. His name is Serapis, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
I do have a question about him. It credits him in 3 episodes in the entirety of the Clone Wars, one of them being this one. The other two, I don't remember him being in them at all.
Do you know what episodes they are?
Oh, he's there. He's there.
The Wookiee Hunt and Revenge.
What's Revenge?
He's there.
What's Revenge?
Oh, he's there.
Is Revenge the other episode with... No, what's the Revenge episode?
Revenge is an episode with Maul in it.
Maybe that's like when they're in a bar or something. Like,
remember when
Asajj gets the bounty for Maul?
Wait, Revenge... No, I know when it is, because it's when Suji and Embo show up again, too, I'm guessing. Because they show up again when the Hutts... With the Hutts, and they defend the Hutts against...
I don't remember being there, though.
Suji and Embo were there, so I would assume he's there in the background. I don't remember him either, but that makes sense since we know that the crew is there at least. In fact, you know why you might not have noticed him? Maybe he doesn't have the suit anymore, so he's literally just like this tiny little background character. You know what I mean?
The suit is literally pointless. It gets shot 2 times, and it goes down.
I know. Which is such a shame, because it's such a cool character design.
That says... Serapis is useless.
Yeah,
I'm eating
Serapis. Serapis is a letdown. Can you make less noise? Be less of a disappointment, like Serapis.
I opened it on the wrong end. This is the worst part.
You know, there is such a thing as muting yourself.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I want to consider. I like to think I'm the comic relief.
Nope, you're just awful. But anyways,
Shut up, knee high.
Hondo rocks. I love Hondo.
Hondo does rock.
Hondo just shows up and steals the show.
Okay, something that annoys me with that Hondo show, beyond the fact that I love Hondo, I love Hondo.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole galaxy, and they meet the same pirate like 20 times.
Okay, in all fairness, this is the only time that it's kind of random.
Yeah, I'd agree with that this is the only time that is random. But then again, it could also be that Hondo...
This one is entirely random. Like, there is no reason that they should both be here at the same point other than plot. So I'd give that to you. But in all fairness, out of the several times that they do run into each other, this is the only time where it's just, like, completely random. And it doesn't feel old because this is only the second time they've interacted. So, I think, right?
Yeah.
As you say, the only other time so far in canon is that, with the whole Dooku thing. But, so yeah, my question is, whenever they're talking about how they want to pay Hondo, to, take them to the nearest Republic station, like, twice as much as you'd get from the crops and everything, they're like, but we don't take Republic credits, so sorry. Why doesn't he just offer to buy the crop from the people with Republic credits? They didn't, but, like, my question, like, if they would have said, but we don't, like, use Republic credits on this planet at all, that's fine. But it's specifically to the pirates, we know just go anywhere. So that's not, like, a Felucia thing, it's a pirate thing. So it's like, you didn't even offer, because you could have just avoided the whole thing, possibly, if that would have happened. But then we would not have been taught a lesson. So that's why that proposition was never made.
Yeah, but they mostly stay in the Outer Rim, though.
The pirates?
Yeah.
Yes, but he offered the pirates.
Public credits aren't really accepted in the Outer Rim.
You would think that he would at least, if he was going to offer Hondo, you think he would at least try to offer the farmers the credits. Because they'd be paying twice as much for the amount they want to give the pirates. That's what he said he'd give them. So it's like, why didn't you try it? I'm like, it makes sense that maybe they wouldn't, but they should have at least tried it. I'm just saying. Whiny guy sucks. I wrote down his name because
he's really annoying.
It's like Tumbani or something. Tumbani.
I thought about looking for his name, but I just didn't feel like it was.
They said it towards the very end after he comes back, and that's why I wrote it down just out of spite because I was like, I just want to call this guy out on it by his name. He literally sucks, and it doesn't pay off. He just throws a spear at someone in the end.
Here's a problem I have with these things. This happens a couple times in shows. Like when they decide to teach the ignorant people how to fight the experienced people. So these are pirates of I'm going to say 5 to 10 years of experience each. So they're decent fighting. And then these farmers get 6 hours of shoving a staff forward.
In all fairness, there's like 10 pirates that we see, whereas there's like presumably at least hundreds of villagers.
Yeah,
We don't know if it's just a day, but
so, if we're talking about world building with the houses,
yeah.
Why are their tools 3 times their size?
I mean, they're for farming.
Yeah, I will go get a pitchfork out of my backyard right now, and it's only going to be like 4 inches taller than me.
Well, you're not an alien.
They make their own stuff.
They're tiny aliens. If they used tiny tools, then, you know, they would just have tiny fields and everything. They want to make as many crops as possible.
We don't know that they make their own stuff, by the way. It could just be that they bought their stuff from somewhere.
And if
they're farming.
And they're like, let's say they're like 2 feet tall, okay? Then their arms are only like a foot long, and they're whipping these spears hard enough to like go through somebody's chest. That's not physics.
They don't go. They don't go through someone's chest. In fact,
sorry,
the only instance, the only instance is that it just pierces. It doesn't go through the chest, though. That's not. It's reasonable that it could.
There was a moment. There was a moment where one of the farmers was on like an animal and stabbed one of the people on the I'm going brain dead.
The speeder, but I don't think it went through.
And it went through that person and hit a pirate behind him.
Yep. Really, I thought it just knocked them. I didn't think that it pierced.
No, there was a moment where one spear pierced 2 pirates.
Okay. Well, but they were charging. They were charging on an animal, so therefore the physics is a little different.
I will give my little cousin, who's like 4 years old, a pitchfork and be like, "Hey, throw this at me." And at worst, he's just gonna scratch me.
I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't think that's a very safe idea.
Be tested for the sake of the show. He offered it. I think we should accept the offer.
I don't approve of this.
I'm gonna dress up as a pirate.
Serapis is tiny.
Remember, I'm a narc. I will call the police if you guys attempt this.
Serapis kind of sucks. Yeah, John is a narc if you didn't know this. Embo, okay, here's the next thing before we actually get fully into the fight, even though we keep kind of getting into the fight, which if you didn't know, basically the premise of this episode... We forgot to say the premise of the episode at the beginning. It's there is a farm. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka get shot down for no reason. On this random planet, they go find these farmers who have bounty hunters protecting them. They don't trust the bounty hunters. But the farmers are like, well, we need someone to protect us from these pirates. Turns out the pirates is Hondo and Aka. They're like, yeah, we want some of your plants. Which, yeah, I feel like if Hondo wants the plants, they've got to be something that isn't just entirely innocent. There's got to be something. They're not. Why are you obsessed with them being opium?
Because I kept hearing that when they were saying what the plant was.
Okay. Isilum? No, Nisilum? Something like that. Where I have it in my notes somewhere.
Listen, the audio is terrible. I just kept hearing and it was about a plant. I'm gonna assume it's opium. In my mind, they use this to make nut sticks.
Oh, but either way,
opium at all.
Yeah, you're crazy. But anyways, there's just
a no for me,
there's a fight. The Jedi decide let's train the villagers to fight. The villagers fight, and the bounty hunters fight, and the Jedi fight, and drive off the pirates. Pirates eventually leave. Yay!
Do the pirates really have nothing better to do with their time? Like, this is what they're choosing out of, like, heists and everything? Just, we're going to rob this specific farm on this specific planet.
Well, I feel like
not just go to a different part of the planet where they're growing the same plants.
It was a pit stop. Like, I don't think that they, like, came here with the intent to do that. I feel like they were just in between jobs or something, and they were like, oh, let's just settle down and take some stuff from these people on our way. And that's when they were like, let's give the warning that we're going to take this stuff at this point or whatever. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, but they were there long enough that they had terrorized the farmers enough that they had seeked out precautions due to bounty hunters. And the bounty hunters were able to travel, presumably long distances, to the farm. That's a pretty long time for the
Maybe
pirates
the pirates
to be there.
kept stopping in between stuff. Because they have a giant ship. But I don't know, in all fairness. But my next thing is, Embo doesn't help train at all. He literally just stands there. I'm like...
He laughs at them.
could he not be doing anything else? Like at the very least, setting up his own defenses for when the pirates are going to come.
Doesn't
Does
need
he have to watch?
defenses.
I don't know.
His only defense is his hat.
Oh my
Yep,
god!
that's all he needs.
And then the next thing I have is Embo snaps a neck.
He does. It was so awesome.
But he does it more than once. He does it again during the fight too.
Here's another problem I have. That cliff is like 100 feet tall, and people are just jumping up that like every 2 seconds.
No, we don't see him jump up that cliff though.
How does he get up there so fast?
There could be a way around it. We don't see to the left of it. Because I thought that same thing, and I'm like, But at the same time, there could have been some kind of a lift or something to the left that we don't see. So that's my guess, other than I think...
There's a slingshot.
I don't know. There definitely should be a slingshot. But I mean, it's reasonable that Anakin can do that because he's a Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, Embo's the one where it's like... Embo is very, very nimble. Like, out of any of the bounty hunters, if anyone could do it, it is Embo, but still, we don't see him jump it, so we don't know that he does, but it is a little weird that they cut away when it's that big of a distance.
Well, at first I'm like, okay, maybe it's not as tall as I think it is, but then you see Anakin get thrown off of it, and then standing at the bottom of it, and yeah, it's pretty high up.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Embo is amazing. God,
yes, he is.
I feel like that's by far the best thing this episode gives us is Embo.
So by that logic, he's probably gonna die.
No, I think the best thing this episode gives us is that one villager. That
one villager makes me want to
die.
Yeah, the one villager, the one farmer that's like, this is pointless.
But I was surprised that Embo just outright... Like, Embo snaps a neck during the battle later also, but that's a little less obvious. I only noticed because I was, like, watching for it.
I'm glad that he took the time to do that.
But
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice the second time.
Yeah, it was, like, in the middle of the battle. But he clearly, like, if you're watching, he does it. Like, it's not like, oh, maybe he did. Like, no, he clearly does it. But, the first time he does it, it's like they draw attention to it as well. And I'm just like, geez, okay.
I like that he just stops using the crossbow after a certain point, just starts kicking people, snapping necks.
Well, the reason he did that in the beginning when he tossed down the crossbow is because I guess he has some kind of honor because the pirate lost his gun, so he's just like...
Yeah.
I feel like he just really wanted to show off, not, like... I don't think it was honor. I think it was like, I cannot wait to just snap your neck. But, yeah.
Did the villagers using slingshots do anything? I forget.
I don't think they used them later. Because I saw them training with the slingshots, but I did not see them actually use those throughout the fight.
They're hiding on top of the houses holding them, and I don't think they ever used them.
And then Suji cares about Embo, which I'm like, that's a lot of empathy for someone that doesn't get a lot of empathy later in the series. Suji literally just shows up to protect the huts later. That's it. Like, that's all she does in the Clone Wars, basically, is this episode and then protect the huts. So I'm like, they seem to set her up as a sympathetic character, and then she just doesn't do crap later. So it's just like, it's a little weird. Also,
You're just a hater.
How did Hondo give his little speech about how it's no longer profitable and then magically get on the ship when the ship takes off 3 seconds after he says it, and we don't see anything lower.
It was already in the air.
I know, like, we don't see them drop a bridge or anything.
If people are going up these 100-foot cliffs in 2 seconds, maybe they got a tractor beam. It's a UFO. They got a tractor beam. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, it's a UFO, so did they just like beam them up? But no, actually, a tractor beam. Maybe. I feel like that's a stretch. But and then the last thing I have actually is just the sniper died from the same thing that just kind of hurt Embo. If anything, the shot to Embo from the tank was worse. Also, did they just leave the tank whenever they took off with Hondo? So maybe Hondo like hopped on the tank and they used a tractor beam or strapped the tank on or something and just...
There's just the cable attached to it.
I don't know, but either way. I was like, why did they kill off that sniper lady? Because I was wondering, I was like, oh, is she dead? Because she just got knocked out like how Embo did. But then she's not there at the end, and Suji even says, hey, do you want to have a ride because I have less people now? The only person she's missing is the sniper. And also less room because Serapis doesn't have the suit, but still,
that suit was useless. Why does that suit move so slowly? I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, it moves slowly because it's probably like a tank. No.
No, I don't know. But it's a cool design. I always thought that was like the coolest design as a kid, and then I hate watching that episode because he sucks. But anyways, does anyone else have anything important for that episode, or should we go to the next one?
That's all I got, dogs.
All right.
Nobody cares.
Go for it.
We just wanted to know. You don't have to share it.
Ship we can borrow is something that Anakin says, and he says it kind of menacingly, like he's gonna steal a ship. Like, I feel like that's something that the others should not tolerate.
He's gonna ride a Rancor.
Wait, he doesn't. When does he say that?
He says that right before they go into the farming area. He's like, "Oh, look, here's this. Maybe they have a ship we can borrow," and like kind of gives the others a look.
I mean, when you're part of an intergalactic civil war and you're like some of the key figures in it, I do feel like it is reasonable to want to get back into action as soon as possible, but at the same time, they don't know whether they're good people or bad people, so they could be stealing from totally innocent good people, so I don't know.
Another thing I have is what's her name? The one, I forget her name, but she says the peacekeeper who fails to keep the peace.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was a really great way to subtly show that some of the galaxy is kind of starting to blame the Jedi for the war.
Oh yeah, a lot of people point out the fact that the Jedi are not great peacekeepers, obviously, which is very true. That's a very valid point. It's like, oh, peacekeepers that are generals in a war, like,
yeah,
girl.
And the last thing I really have is Serapis was cutting down that tree that eventually led to it being revealed that he's actually this tiny thing. Why is he cutting down the tree thing?
I'm guessing it was to set up a barricade.
There was no point to that.
I think he was going to set up a barricade, but I don't know.
But
or a trap. I don't know.
He really didn't like that tree.
I kind of wondered that too, but I feel like since they were preparing for the assault, that it is reasonable he was using that tree for something. But also, why would you just stand where it's going to fall? Just don't.
I mean, he thought. I assumed that he thought he had the ability to catch it.
He's just playing Minecraft.
But like,
man.
once it starts to fall, just move out of the way.
Just start. He's just playing Minecraft.
I know, but either way, next episode we have is Senate Spy, which this episode I don't hate, but it's a very skippable episode.
The humans.
I like some things in this episode, but I hate it.
I relate to some things in this episode, but I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's a very skippable episode at the very least. I think anyone can agree on that.
Yes.
Although, you know what? This actually does offer some setup for
another episode?
No, actually, this offers a setup for the Geonosis thing. I didn't even realize that. This is the episode that, in chronological order, happens before the Geonosis arc, the second battle of Geonosis. I'm guessing that's why they have the second battle in Geonosis, is because of this new droid factory. I didn't even realize that till just now. That makes sense. Anyways, so that it does somewhat matter, but at the same time, you don't need to know that to watch the Geonosis arc, because we didn't realize it was connected till just now.
Now we know.
But okay, so quick recap.
At the beginning of this episode, I thought it was another episode that is similar to this one, and I got really excited before I realized it wasn't that episode.
Are you talking about the one where Anakin beats the crap out of Rush Clovis?
Yes.
That is one of my favorites.
That's what I assumed it was whenever it started, and then it just wasn't that, and I was just let down.
Agreed, but hey, this sets the groundwork for that, so we'll get that.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Anakin Darkside moments.
Oh yeah, me too.
But anyways, so first off, there is a senator that the Jedi believe is a traitor. I don't know how they know this. Seems a little oddly specific, but anyways, they know it.
How did they figure that out?
Apparently they know it from some source that can't infiltrate it but can find it out. And then
why you gotta use these plot devices, Eric?
So they ask. So Yoda himself asks Padme to spy, and she's like, no. He doesn't mention the fact that he's a traitor working with the Separatists, and that's why they want her to spy, which they would tell her once she was spying anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me that Yoda wouldn't tell her.
I mean, I guess it's fair, like, that they wouldn't want her to know that if she wasn't willing to do it. Like, I get that would make her more willing to do it, but what if she still wasn't willing to do it?
Yeah, but that's the information that would get her to do it, though.
But what if it didn't? You know what I'm saying?
What if she's the spy?
Yoda doesn't know that, but either way, Anakin has to leave during their little meetup that they're having. Anakin and Padme that they've had it for a while, so he leaves because of duty, which is when they ask him. They ask him to get her to do this. So then he's talking to Padme about how he doesn't want her to do it, and since he doesn't want her to do it, and she finds out it's because of separatists, because for some reason they didn't tell her, she says, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." So then they do it. It's super easy.
Even though I'm telling you not to.
She's just like, "Hey, let's get lunch," and he's like, "Okay, want to be more than friends again?"
We've all been in these situations.
And then the moment after
I have not.
They get on the ship, like immediately after they get on the ship.
This is the quick recap, so we'll save that because that is a funny thing. But either way, then he asks her also immediately, "Hey, want to go on a work trip with me to an entirely different planet?" And she's like, "Sure." So they go. She steals some plans. Then Lot Dodd poisons her to get Rush Clovis to agree to certain terms in order to save her, because he knows that Rush Clovis loves her. Does Rush Clovis genuinely love her? We'll get back to that.
He wants her body.
I feel like that really is what he wants. But anyways, I don't think he's genuinely in love with her, because they just cut it off. And anyways,
I'm sure they have a history, but now I don't.
I'm going to defend everything about this guy, by the way.
That's because you're sad. That's because you're sad and lonely, like Rush Clovis.
Yeah. Okay. Like what? Okay. We're gonna pause for a real second here. Eric's heard me talk about this before. John,
as opposed to a fake second.
Yeah. John, have you seen the other guys?
I have seen the other guys.
I'm pretty confident that Eric is Will Ferrell, because I'm just sitting there like, what is it with you and hot ladies? Just so Eric doesn't understand the whole struggle here that what Rush Clovis is going through.
Anyways, getting back. Rush Clovis threatens Lot Dodd to get the antidote after Anakin's like, "Dude, you're getting that antidote, and we're gonna leave."
You.
This is after Padme already stole the information, has it sent off and everything. So they get the antidote. Anakin leaves Rush Clovis there for dead because he doesn't have the information. He leaves him without the information and just gets out of there, and then they're all fine except Rush Clovis. But apparently Rush Clovis is fine because he has to come back to get his butt beaten by Anakin really bad later, but that's another episode that I look forward to.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's start breaking this down. First off, I have the interaction between Anakin and Padme, literally in the first 20 seconds, and I'm not saying this to crap on the movies, is better than anything in the movies of their relationship. Like they had actual
I will say that
banter.
To put crap on the movies. I will say that to put crap on the movies.
But there's just people who enjoy hating on the movies just for fun, like just all the time, like, "Oh, there's such garbage and everything," like, ha 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 ha, like, yeah.
I do like hating things.
They keep mentioning it like every 5 seconds, like that's why I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be like that, then who cares? They just don't like it because it's not the original trilogy. But like, yes, a legitimate problem is that the relationship was not that, well done. It's pretty well done in this episode. It's very well done in this episode, I can say.
Oh yeah, the chemistry between Padme and Anakin was pretty good in this episode.
Really but good. The chemistry between Padme and Rush Clovis just
is literally the worst. Then I get then I'm like, my next note is, if Padme already said no to Yoda, why are they asking more people to convince her?
Because she doesn't have as good a relationship with Yoda in the council, but they know that she trusts Anakin, and if someone that she trusts asks her to do it, maybe she's more willing to do it.
But if she already thinks it's something she shouldn't do, shouldn't they respect that decision, especially since she's a senator and not like an actual spy?
Let's be honest here. When an organization or a government asks somebody to do something, do you really think they're only going to ask once?
It's fair, but I'm saying not the government, the Jedi.
A personal
that's a
experience.
little
I said
crappy
a
on the
government
Jedi.
or an organization.
No, I know, but I feel like that's kind of against the Jedi way. To like peer pressure someone into doing something they don't want to do.
They're using the mind trick in mass force.
Well, how else are they going to get people into the Jedi faith other than to peer pressure them?
Well, they don't peer
Punch
pressure
them in
them.
the face.
They just abduct them. Again,
Could
also
punch them in
kind
the
of.
face.
I'm not saying
That's
I agree with the Jedi way. I'm
point.
saying the Jedi way has many flaws. I personally don't care for the Jedi way all that much. So yeah, I was just like, I thought it was a little shady that the Jedi were like, "Yep, she clearly said no after we asked her, so let's try to convince her to do it." Still, when I'm like, the Jedi are supposed to be the good guys, and like that's not exactly a totally good thing, but you know.
As you know, with this show, they tend to blur the lines of who is good and who's bad.
Yep. Which I think is good. So I just wanted to point that out, that it wasn't like, oh, will you do the spy mission? Yeah, and then they go off on a spy mission. Like, no, they actually had to work around with it a little bit, so... then the next thing I have is, why is she so angry at Anakin? Like, I get that she's upset that, like,
Hormones.
she had, like, you know, they're finally having this reunion after a while.
It's her time of the month.
At the same time, oh, shut up. At the same time,
come on, Eric, you know.
But like I do have to admit, like in a long distance relationship, after waiting so long to see the person, if you were torn away from them the first night of seeing that person, they'd be angry, even if they.
Why
knew
is
that
it gotta
you
be
had
the
to
night,
go.
Eric? What do you do at night?
Eric, I have a question,
the night
Eric.
in the episode. That's what I'm talking about. What?
Eric, is there ever a time whenever you come back to Pennsylvania from fighting in the Clone Wars that she gets mad at you?
I imagine Eric has like that American Sniper thing where he's just like throwing his head around when he hears something.
All right.
He's like, oh, that's blaster fire.
It's about to whip a dog or something.
What?
Oh.
But anyways, I'm just saying she's like really, really angry at Anakin, and it's just like, okay, that's really harsh. Like I get her being grumpy, but she's just like kind of just yelling at him. I'm like, it was the Jedi Council. Like I understand if like it was just like, you know, if it's like, oh, work has me like, you know, coming and going, but like it's the frickin' Jedi Council, like the supreme rulers of the galaxy, the highest. Literally, like, the highest authority ever. And you're mad at him because he answered their call after delaying
There's no
late?
higher authority other than the Senate?
I hate you.
I am the Senate.
But anyways,
the Republic of Democracy, Eric.
Then the next thing I have is, does everybody just go on the little Senate pods and just, like, go chill in the middle of the Senate?
What was going on? What was going on in the Senate chambers?
I'm guessing that there was no real meeting going on. So my guess is, like, when there's an entire Senate meeting is adjourned, like, everyone goes back to their spots, and then, like, they're only called up if, you know, if they have something important for the meeting. I'm guessing that this is during an off time, and so everyone's having their own individual meetings, and so they're allowed to, like, move around to get some privacy, maybe? But I don't know.
Okay.
I thought it was weird.
I got this, okay? Maybe it was, like, the week of Life Day. There's no Clone Wars this week. Everybody goes back to their planet to celebrate. That's why nobody was there. There you go. And
but
like,
there were people
there.
there.
No, there were people there.
I'm not
done.
done.
Why was nothing
I'm not
happening.
done. And
You're never done in Verdun.
And Locked On, he has no family. He's just a Senate. He's left all alone. He just won Padme's company for the Life Day holiday. That's
what?
There you go.
Locked On wasn't there. We're talking about the Senate building.
I'm just saying for the entirety of the episode.
We're talking about the Senate building. Anyways, yeah, I thought it was weird. There was just like no rules apparently. And then my first impression of Rush Clovis is Padme was into this guy. He's so weird. And creepy.
He's clearly just wanting to get a little notch on his belt.
And he himself looks weird. Like
that.
I can and I will.
He just looks really weird. That was my first impression. Was like, this guy is just really weird and creepy. Like, I get they can't make him like out to be a super good guy. Otherwise, it's like, well, why isn't she with him and Anakin, and why is she betraying him for all this stuff? But like,
come on, what's the worst thing Anakin does?
Did they have to make him so creepy? Like, jeez.
Yeah, after they have their little lunch date where he's like, "Do you want to be more of the friends and go to a secret work trip with me?"
More than anything.
When they go on the ship right after that, he is all up on her trying to like plant kisses all over her.
Yeah, it's like, calm down,
looking
dude.
at
You
him.
literally just had your first date after being separated and not speaking for a long, long time. Like, slow down, bro.
Old female friend, I would get pepper sprayed and get a restraining order.
Yeah, like this
Okay.
dude has no chill. And then
Okay,
smooth
this is
move Anakin whenever he flips the ship and then makes him fall into a seat. I was just like, okay, I feel you.
I
but
do
then
have
he can't
about
dodge
that,
two he can't dodge two vulture droids though. That's too much. But he can flip a guy into a seat perfectly.
Yeah.
the fact that Clovis doesn't give Anakin a bad Yelp review as a pilot right at that moment pisses me off.
I bet that he did.
No, he needs to do it immediately. That's very second.
But Anakin's not a pilot. Anakin's specifically called out as a captain, which I like to think he did in honor of Captain Rex. I hope that his cover name, because I'm sure that he wasn't going by Anakin, because otherwise Rush Clovis... Also, how does Rush Clovis not recognize him later on in the episode when he's up close? Like, I get he's wearing the pilot uniform, but, like, when you are face-to-face with the biggest hero of the Clone Wars, you gotta recognize him. But anyways...
He is Anakin.
I was like, yeah, go Anakin. Then the next thing is, bridge cities are cool. That's weird and cool. And again, world building. I like that.
I have always loved that planet, and I want to see more of it, and we haven't seen a whole lot of it.
The structure seems a little weird. Like, why would you build cities on the parts that's over the giant, like canyons and like eternal pits, whereas like you could just build on the mountains that your cities are attached to? But alas, there's probably some reason we don't know of. But either way, they look super cool.
Rancors.
They're not that tall.
So my question is next: who are those? Did you guys think that those female robots by Lot Dodd were literally really weird and creepy looking? Did you notice them?
You mean the sex bots?
That's basically what they looked like. I just didn't want to say that.
I was more focused on the beauty of Lock Dot myself.
If you were so focused on his beauty, you would know how to say his name right. It's Lot Dodd.
Well, he got that weird lisp. He says his name his way, I say it my way.
Everyone says his name in the episode, not just him.
That reminds me of the sex bots from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Don't they kind of look like that?
They do.
I don't remember that.
Literally, the first scene of Yondu is him putting on his clothes after.
Oh yeah. Those were sex cyborgs.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, technically yes, but yeah. So I thought they just looked really creepy. I was like, why are they there? And why do they look like human females? This isn't a planet with humans. That's the weirdest part. Is they look like cartoon human robots. When
my God,
have you seen
what?
That L3 is not the first female droid, as evidenced by this episode.
L3 was literally never the first female droid. There's a female droid on screen multiple times.
Advertise it as that.
No, they didn't.
Yep.
No, they didn't.
You don't remember that?
No, they never did. There have been other female, not just female droids in Star Wars. There have been other female droids in the movies.
Yeah, but they tried to like advertise it as that. You don't remember that?
No, they did not. No, they did not.
Yeah, they did.
No, find me an advertisement then. Well, find me an advertisement after the show.
I will.
Do it. Okay. Anyways, after that, Paul the Lesser shows up, which I gotta admit, I appreciate these little cameos of separatist leaders, especially Pago the Lesser. He's an important dude, and also
he's lesser.
He's also linked. Yeah, why is this title the Lesser when he's more important than anyone else on Geonosis, like by a lot? But anyways, I appreciate cameos of him. I kind of like Pago the Lesser actually, and we get to see him, and makes me realize that is another character who's going to have a big Anakin dark side moment in the Clone Wars. I think those are actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think those are the only two people that Anakin force chokes in the Clone Wars. Or at least it's the two big
probably
scenes.
Padme. Probably Padme at least once.
No, he doesn't. Just stop.
Wait, if John's allowed to talk about sex bots, I can say that.
How'd he... Just stop. Then my next question is, how did he just rub poison onto the cup, let alone with his finger, which I guess, you know, depending... He's an alien, so never mind. That doesn't matter.
Yep,
but my real question is...
Alien physiology.
How does he put it into one little spot and then get Padme to drink from that exact spot? Like, she could have just... Like,
Customs.
What if she grabbed it a different way than he was expecting or something?
Customs.
But he didn't say anything. I don't know. Either way, it was just like, wow, that was a very lucky poisoning. Next thing I have is C-3PO is never sure. He keeps asking multiple times throughout the episode, like, whenever he's told something, he's like, are you sure? And then they say yes, and he's like, oh.
Are you sure about that?
Okay. He's like always, oh, okay. I'm just like, oh, poor C-3PO. And then my next note is the creepy moment. Passcode Padme. That's right. Padme is guessing his passcode to get the information he needs and everything, and goes through several different things, including his own name, because, you know, he seems arrogant. But no, it's Padme, which I'm like, that's the ultimate nail in the coffin of him being super creepy. Like, before that, it's like, maybe he's just misunderstood. Like, nope, nope. He is super duper creepy. That is really weird. In fact, probably way more weird than they intended it to be. But, and then she doesn't react to it. Is it just me, or is I was expecting her at least to like give a kind of grossed out look, or at least frown or something. She's just like, nope, just continues on, doesn't care whatsoever. I'm like, I'd be a little more weirded out, but I guess she knows him, so maybe she isn't surprised by it. And then I only have
that article that I just sent, by the way, is the article that I was referring to.
Well, yeah, but we'll talk about it after the show. I'm not gonna. Let's see. But is it Star Wars that actually produced that wrote that article? No,
well,
see, that's someone else.
That's people were saying it.
Well, yeah, people are stupid. What do you want? Like,
yeah, they are.
I don't know what you want me to tell you, bud. But then I have, why doesn't Padme admit to not feeling well before she passes out? Like, I get it earlier because she needs to get the information, but once she's got the information and everything, before she faints, why doesn't she say, like, I need help or something? Like, no, she literally faints.
She clearly looks distressed before that, too.
I know. It's like, how hard is it to tell, creepy dude, that your crush that you are obsessed with doesn't feel well? It's like, take her to a frickin' doctor. No, he just takes her back to her bed, and then he's like, okay, now I'm gonna get a doctor. Like, clearly she's, like, dying, but, you know, whatever. And then, last thing I have is, oh boy, Anakin left him for dead. That's not the Jedi way. We know he doesn't die, but it is strongly implied that he was going to die.
I love what he says to Clovis as well. I have a lot of faith in your survival skills, and he says it like kind of sarcastically, and I love that line.
Oh yeah, he totally thought he was going to die. Like, let's be real, Anakin did not think he was going to live.
Whenever he was walking towards the droids and the Trade Federation, like you thought he was going to die. It made you think he was.
Yeah, like it's just implied that basically, like, yep, he's done. But no, and I'm kind of curious if that's mentioned in the episode he comes back in later, because I don't remember if they mention how he got himself out of that, other than him being a creepy weasel dude. So, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that he could, even though Anakin, while saying it, definitely thought he's going to die. Like, while saying, like, oh, I trust you'll live, he definitely thought he was going to die. But, yeah, overall, I got to admit, I don't know. I think I definitely like Bounty Hunters better because it had Embo. So never mind. Not even a toss.
Yes.
It's Bounty Hunters better. I don't hate Senate Spy like a lot of people do, though. Again, totally skippable, but
I hate it.
I feel like it's also very different. That episode, more than... Like, every episode we go back to, there's a little bit of differences when you go back and you're older. But I feel like that one's a very, very different one when you go back and you're older, because it's a lot more creepy, a lot of the stuff that happens, and there's also a lot of relationship stuff that you're more likely to understand when you're older and such. Not that you don't understand the episode at all, but I feel like there's a lot of chemistry and subtle things and implications and stuff, especially with Rush Clovis being so creepy. That's like you don't get that as a child, but like when you're older, it's just like, oh wow. And then between Anakin and Padme, you understand that chemistry a lot more too. But yeah, do you guys have anything else about the episodes? Oh wait,
I have a few things.
We didn't see the quote, did we?
The what?
What's the quote for the Senate spy?
Oh yeah. You kind of passed over that whenever you went to the thing, and I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Yeah,
I know what it
your
is.
true heart should never be doubted.
Oh,
I thought that was a really good one.
I thought it was gonna be like you need consent on both sides.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because
I have a few
clearly
things to
Rush
talk
Clovis did not care about that because he's creepy. But
Yeah.
John, what do you have?
First thing is like, how closely does the Jedi Order keep track of its Jedi members?
That's a
'Cause,
really
like,
good question. Jedi do get free time
seems
sometimes,
like they
but I don't
shouldn't.
know.
We feel a disturbance every now and again. That's about it.
Like, they do get their own free time, so, like, I guess I'm curious about the boundaries of where they're allowed to go and stuff, but in all fairness, Anakin's also a rule breaker. So, like, even if they aren't allowed to do stuff, I do feel like it doesn't matter because Anakin is a rule breaker. But I am kind of curious about what the logistics, like, what are the actual guidelines they have for going out in, the city and everything, like, what are they allowed to, how far
There
allowed
are
to
some
go?
Jedis that are like completely disconnected from the Council, aren't there? Like, what's the one dude's name that we see later in the series?
Quinlan Voss?
I guess. I don't know.
Qui-Gon
Wait,
Jinn.
isn't there a group where like they like wipe your existence from like information and you just go and do covert stuff? Isn't that a group in the Jedi?
Quinlan Voss is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's who I said.
Yeah, isn't that a group in the Jedi? Like they wipe out who you are.
I don't think so in canon.
The closest thing to that is
Quinlan
the
Voss going undercover.
Sentinels.
Well, no, that's not the same thing. No, but he's talking about
it's
like
not
doing
the same
spy
thing, but
stuff.
it's similar.
But that's just putting on a mask and guarding the temple, though. Like you're not actually doing stuff. Luke, you're talking about like going out.
Yeah, but
and
you're
doing
not allowed
missions,
to.
right?
What?
You're not allowed to give out any information about yourself if you're a Sentinel, though.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be completely anonymous.
Luke, are you talking about people that like go out and do secret work?
Yeah, I thought they had like that's.
I don't think
you
that's
can
an
choose to
actual
do that.
organization, but they do convince Quinlan Voss to do so.
Yeah, I just thought that was a faction in the Jedi that does it.
That might be a Legends thing, but I do not know. Now I'm kind of curious. But yeah, well, John, what else do you have?
I love the subtle looks that Obi-Wan gives Anakin whenever he gets like surprised by like Padme's friendship, or it happens almost every episode that Anakin is talking about Padme, and Obi-Wan's there. Obi-Wan always has like a little
bro.
glance that he gives, like almost as if he knows about like their secret relationship.
Oh, I'm almost certain that Obi-Wan knows. Like I don't think Anakin has ever outright told Obi-Wan, but I think it's very clear, and I think Anakin knows that Obi-Wan knows and such. But yeah, I appreciate the attention to detail with that too.
Yeah, in the Mandalore episodes, whenever he talks about his relationship with what's her face,
Satine.
Yeah,
I keep seeing pictures everywhere of Obi-Wan with Satine in his arms. I'm just like, I dread getting to that episode.
Why?
Because that's freaking heartbreaking. Like, Obi-Wan doesn't deserve that. Like, I don't care about half the people that die ever. It's like, who cares? But, like, I don't even care about Satine dying. It's just the fact that Obi-Wan has to watch it and hold her. I'm just like,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember how she dies, so...
You don't remember?
Oh. Okay, no, don't say it. Don't say it, then. I was gonna say, we'll get to that.
I'm gonna assume Death Watch kills her. Or Maul kills her. I'm gonna assume Maul kills her.
You'll see.
From a literary standpoint, that would make sense.
You'll see. The next thing I have...
John?
The next thing I have is Padme has like 6 pillows on her bed for no reason.
Why did you notice that?
Thing.
That's just
all women do that.
Yeah, that's very valid. In all fairness, I usually have like 4 pillows, so.
But not 6.
I mean,
You
I
have
don't
4,
know.
not 6.
It's not that weird. Anyways, continue with your weird observations.
So
Rancor
this
poop
has
and 6
always
pillows.
bothered me. This has always bothered me. Padme's body, just the model that they have for her,
okay, we gotta be
it's
careful now.
abnormal. It's abnormal. It doesn't
It's
look.
stylized
what's with these
animation,
body
though.
standards you're implying, John?
Just
What's with
shut
these
up,
body
shut up,
standards?
Luke. Shut up, Luke. It's
Her
just
rib cage looks too big for her body.
it is a little weird, but again, that's all up to styling and animation. Like it's weird, but it's not supposed to look realistic, if you know what I mean. Just the general style of the show, but it is a little weird.
The last thing I really have is there was an interaction between, I don't remember his name, but he's one of the Trade Federation guys, and Clovis. Clovis says the doctors there are better equipped.
Lot Dodd.
Trade Federation guys, yeah, Lockdodd says you cannot leave, and then Clovis says, "Give me the antidote, or you're dead." That dialogue bothers me because it doesn't sound like it goes together.
I mean, it's because they're both trying to pretend. They both know that he poisoned her, and they're both trying to pretend. And then he's like giving up the charade. So like it's
Supposed to be awkward because
Yeah, but
they're both lying and they are
bothers
both
me.
well aware of it and well aware of each other lying. And then Rush Clovis is just like, screw this, give it to me. I'm going to kill you if you don't.
She's mine.
I feel like Clovis's dialogue in this episode is just weird in general.
Says he's a weird
I
dude.
think
I
it's
thought we
written
established
very
that.
well.
Yeah, he's weird and a creepy dude.
Maybe he's not a human.
You know
What
what?
is this
I
whole
was
time?
questioning that. Is he human? Because like he looks
I
a
thought it
little
was-
weird. I think he's
I thought
human,
of
but
him as
I'm
like
not
an
sure.
elf.
Yeah, like he's a
Oh,
humanoid.
my God.
He's clearly humanoid, but I feel like he. Now I kind of want to know.
What if he's one
I
of those
just
male
found-
sex robots?
Rush Clovis Wikipedia. That'll have his species right there. So let's see. Human male politician. Yep, he's human. Just his tattoos
Weird.
and everything. He just has tattoos and stuff. I just kind of figured he.
He's so cool.
I figured he was, but I don't know. But either way, there is that. Yeah. So that's about it. I think we all agree. Yeah, Bounty Hunters is better. And yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have the Zillow Beast arc to look forward to. And then we actually have the second battle of Geonosis, which I feel like is somewhat of a major point in the Clone Wars. At least that's a battle I always remember, especially because it has multiple parts and such to it. So, and also we get to our favorite two-heart Jedi, which is Ki-Adi-Mundi. He's in that arc. So.
What?
But yeah.
Who?
Although I'm really looking forward to Mace Windu in the Zillow Beast arc, because I like Mace Windu, and there's been some videos popping up about Palpatine and Mace Windu, and this story arc that's coming up will certainly be relevant.
They're secretly lovers? I
Yeah.
agree.
No, not quite. A little different. But yeah. Also, it has an interesting fact that did you know that Mace Windu actually was the Grand Master of the Jedi before the Clone Wars? Not Yoda?
Like in episode 1?
Yes. Yoda gave him the position.
Where's that ever stated that?
I need to find it, but I did just actually hear about that in videos and such, that Yoda gave him the position. Then after Mace Windu messed up everything at the Battle of Geonosis, he's just like, nope, can't do this, and he focused on being a general and everything, and gave the position back to Yoda. Yoda gave him the position because he was like, I'd rather you, and Mace didn't want to accept it first, but Mace was like, you know what, I'd rather be Grandmaster and learn from you how to be Grandmaster while you're alive, rather than just become Grandmaster once you die. So, okay,
Wow.
I'll do it. And then he gave it up once wartime started, so... Yeah, but basically, that's about it, and what you have to look forward to, so... you can look at our social media stuff in the description and everything, and we'll give it out during Mandalore Mandate. So that's about
Yay.
it. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Eric.
Bye.
I hope you find your dad.